Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I finally have another upload for you all. I've been really busy basically in the last week because senior year of high school finally started, and for the next couple of months I'm basically going to be swamped with tests and exams, essays, and most importantly college applications, but I'll still do my best to pump out content for you all. I know VGC 2014 is almost coming to a close. October regionals will be the last time we use this rule set, but I still want to do some cool stuff like analyze the top teams at the World Championships this past summer, so stay tuned for that. I do plan on analyzing a lot of the top teams like Seijun's team, Ryosuke's team, Marcus's team, etc. In addition, I do plan on attending 2 fall regionals at both Philadelphia and Houston, so if you're there, definitely come say hi to me. I haven't figured out my plans exactly, but I most likely will be there, mainly because I'd like to compete one last time with the rules, since I actually really like the rule set now. But anyway, let's get into today's battle. You sent my opponent Scar with the 4 Pokemon that he brought to this game. The 2 he did not bring were Garchomp and Gardevoir. Scar is actually one of the top players in Japan, having finished in the top 4 at Japanese Nationals this past summer. He also qualified and competed at Worlds, where he finished 2-4. My team, you see, is still my Worlds team. Salamence, Hariyama, Rotom Heat, Ferrothorn. Did not bring Kangaskhan or Gothitelle in this match. Goth doesn't fare too well against Gengar, Tyranitar, and Mawile, and Kangaskhan doesn't like Mawile, obviously, and Gengar. So I decided with those 4 for the first game. We did play a best 2 of 3, so I'll bring you the future games, after this one. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into the game. I decided to lead with Salamence and Hariyama because, in general, that is a pretty good lead matchup against anything. There's nothing that directly threatens that other than Gardevoir, but even with Gardevoir, I can just fake it out with Hariyama and switch out into my Ferrothorn in the back, so I'm not too worried about it. He leads with Gengar and Zapdos, which I'm actually really happy to see. I feel like this is a really good lead matchup for me, and, I can just fake out the Zapdos, or actually Helping Hand and Draco Meteor it, which is what I decide to do. Probably not the best of decisions though, as you'll see why. So I do go for the Helping Hand and Draco Meteor, knowing that I'll be able to KO the Zapdos because I'm Choice Specs, but he's actually running Choice Scarf Zapdos, which I totally was not expecting. Gets the Hidden Power Ice off and takes out my Salamence in one hit. So an awful turn 1 for me as I lose my main means of offense there, and he gets the Will-O-Wisp off against the Hariyama. Of course, since I'm running Guts Hariyama, that actually helps me more than hurts me, but at the same time, I'm still down 4-3, which is never good. However, knowing that the Zapdos is locked into HP Ice is really important information, because it means like this following turn, I'm just going to double target the Gengar, because that slot is basically useless. He doesn't protect with Gengar, goes for the Shadow Ball into Rotom, and the HP Ice with Zapdos, deciding to switch in. And like I said, because I knew that Zapdos slot was basically useless, I double targeted the Gengar slot this turn with a Thunderbolt and Knockoff, and that's going to be able to knock it out in one hit. So suddenly, despite a terrible turn 1, I'm actually regained the momentum, and things are looking really good for me. I knocked out Gengar, and Zapdos is still locked into HP Ice, meaning like he won't be able to really touch my Rotom Heat or my Hariyama. I'm even happier when he brings in that Mega Mawile, because Rotom Heat can 1, burn it, and 2, just overheat it. Rotom Heat, of course, one of the best counters to Mega Mawile, when Mega Mawile isn't under Trick Room because it can't just Rock Slide, which some do carry. He continues to stay in with the Zapdos here, but this one makes a bit more sense, HP Icing my Rotom to try to get it into Sucker Punch range. I did anticipate a Protect from that Mawile this turn, so I double targeted the Zapdos, but I actually Thunderbolt and Close Combated it, since I was kind of expecting to switch out this turn. He has Tyranitar, Gardevoir, and the Garchomp in the back. Those were his 3 options, so I knew I'd be able to do at least 50% to basically anything he had in the back. He doesn't switch out, but that's even better for me because, once again, in terms of momentum, now I know that the Zapdos is once again useless this turn, as it keeps on it has the HP Ice or switch out again. So I think my opponent's downfall in this battle really was just staying in with Zapdos, but at the same time, he knew I was a smart player and didn't want to, fall into losing one of the Pokemon in the back. But that's one of the things when you do use a choice Pokemon, your opponent, if smart enough, can play around that. So I do anticipate the Sucker Punch this turn, since I assume that's why he HP Iced my Rotom last turn, so I do get the burn off against the Mega Mawile, which works out perfectly. He doesn't switch out with Zapdos, and I get the knockout there with Knockoff. So 3-2 now, and I burned the Mega Mawile, which is huge. Mega Mawile is an amazing Mega, but when you burn it, it suddenly becomes a lot less viable. So now I'm up 3-2, and Tyranitar is his last one, which I'm really happy to see. But the game's still not over because I have Ferrothorn in the back. If that Tyranitar carries a Fire-type attack, and he's able to outspeed my Hariyama, he's actually most likely going to win this match. So now I'm really, waiting to see what kind of Tyranitar set this is, especially because it's a best of 3. Surprisingly, my Hariyama is the fastest Pokemon out of the 3 Pokemon on this turn that attack, indicating to me that Tyranitar is very slow, might even carry an Iron Ball, and actually definitely carries the Iron Ball. And in games 2 and 3, you'll see why exactly his Pokemon are so slow. Yeah, it's actually because the Gengar carries Trick Room, which is really cool. I find that out in game 2, but basically, by knocking out the Tyranitar, now I ensure the victory because I've got Rotom Heat and Ferrothorn, both which have an excellent matchup against Mawile by itself, especially since it's Burn. Scar realizes this and he just forfeits the game, but it was a really exciting game. I thought I was basically screwed after the first turn, but with some smart playing, knowing that the Zapdos, is locked in and it's either forced to switch out or stay in, I was able to basically turn things back into my side. Predicting the Mawile Protect really helped me out a lot as well. So even if you fall down 4-3 right away in a game and lose, what you think is your best Pokemon in a matchup, you should definitely never give up, especially if your opponent has, a choice user, because you can use that information to your advantage, which is exactly what I did in this game. So I'll be bringing you guys future games with Scar in the near future, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Like it obviously if you did, and I'll see you next time. Peace.